Hello and welcome to basically League of Legends Amino members, degenerates, whatever you want to call them, want to just react and discuss about Yuumi because we're all high elo players. Are we right, boys?
Sure.
I'm bronze.
Like Tim.
Tim is diamond.
Yeah, Tim is diamond.
I'm
I'm
diamond.
bronze.
Like
What the fuck? Why are you lying?
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, my name is Yates, also known as SoiitaryYates. I have my people here. So Tim, who heads the podcast with me, say hello, Tim.
Hi.
And we have Sabi, who you've probably seen from last time. Say hi.
Hi.
For those who don't know, I probably haven't uploaded that podcast yet, but I'm working on it. And we have Nick from Sweden. Say hi.
What's up?
Okay.
Hi.
I have to bleep that out now. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so with all
I'm
due,
streaming. Whoa.
are you streaming?
Yes.
Holy Twitch man.
Yeah.
What we'll do right now is we're going to be going over the champion. So first we're going to watch the video. The only person that hasn't seen it is Sabi. So basically Sabi's going to be watching this through Discord without any sound whatsoever.
Excuse you. I haven't seen it either. I watched the other 45
But
seconds.
no one cares about you.
Exactly.
True. True.
Okay, anyway, we're going ready, so let's watch this.
I don't know, Book. Master could be anywhere. She'd pick a place with fish. Where are we, Book? Oh, fish. Here, fishy, fishy. Yeah! Rats, always uptight. Book, yordles! Watch out for us! Faster, faster! Yeah! Plenty more where that came from! You and me, we got this. Shield, heal, cuddle! What can't I do? Now kill him! We bopped them all! Now back on the prowl.
That's the new champion.
Wow.
A
Shit.
cat. Out of everything you can make.
Wow, such a cool champion concept.
You think?
Well, you know, so someone actually mentioned this, but they can make a shit ton of money off chromas of different breeds.
True.
Do you think that's why they did that? Maybe.
Probably
I mean, they already lowered the prices. They already lowered the RP equal amount of money, and they already released a bunch of new skins that are a bajillion.
You watched the make 85 chromas for this champion now. Let's go.
So they might as well create exactly 58 chromas
Yeah, exactly.
for this champion, and then it's gonna be like, well, it's gonna cost 300 euros if you want to buy the whole bundle, but I guess it's cheaper than buying them separate, so might as well do that.
And
You might as well get everyone.
and just to make sure, if you buy the exclusive special bundle, you get a chroma of the Russian blue cat.
Exactly.
But you get a shitty summoner icon. Don't forget
And you
that
get a
part.
border too.
And a
No, you-
border.
You
Yeah,
can't
you-
forget the border.
You forgot you get the Ruby chroma.
Oh yeah,
You
the
get a
ruby
per- you
chroma.
get a
We got
prestige
always
chroma.
we always got to have a fucking ruby chroma. Anyway, so for this one, let's go over the abilities and then we'll have a discussion about it. Bop and block. That sounds like a tongue twister there. Every so often, Yumi's next attack against an opponent restores mana and grants her a shield. If Yuumi is attached, the shield protects her ally. The shield also protects Yuumi or her ally until it's broken. Is that permanent?
I don't think it's permanent. I think
No, I don't think so.
I think it's
I don't know
like
what
a
the-
barrier.
But the wording is the shield protects Yuumi or her ally until it's broken.
Yeah, well, maybe, but like to be
It's
fair,
probably like Rakan's passive. kind
Yeah.
of.
it's probably gonna be like something that's okay. Even if it would be permanent, it's probably gonna be like a small shield, depending on scalings, because we got all the scalings of this champion.
True, but that begs the question: how does it interact with overheal?
Well, it's not an heal per definition, so
Yeah.
I think her heal would interact, which we go over pretty soon, would interact better with overheal than this.
True.
Well, we will see.
Okay, let's go over that. So, Q, Prowling Projectile. Yuumi fires a missile that deals magic damage to the first enemy hit. If the missile's in flight long enough, it deals bonus magic damage and slows enemy. So, kind of like Zoe's Q.
Wow, it's a Jinx ultimate. Wow.
While attached, Yuumi fires a missile from her ally's position and can direct the missile's flight with her mouse.
Zoe Q?
Yeah.
No, not really, because it says here that she can. I'm just looking at an old school on the top shooter, where you can like control the missile where it goes. Like you know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you mentioned in chat, I think.
So
And you can focus
So
on
that'll be her main poke ability. So that would be interesting. Let's see. W, you and me. So while attached, Yuumi and her ally gains a % of each other's AD or AP converted to adaptive force. Sorry, Pinchman, I'm not joining you.
Oh.
Okay. And the active, Yuumi starts with a point in her W. Wait a minute. So that means at level 1 you don't choose your ability?
No, I think what this means is that it might have to do that this W has 6 points.
Possibly. She dashes to an ally champion and attaches to them. While attached, she follows her partner's movement and is untargetable by everything except tower damage. Yuumi can fire from her ally's location and she can't attack enemies. She can unattach after a cooldown or attach to another teammate with no cooldown. So what I'm more curious about is the % of each of the ADs or AP converted to adaptive force. Does that scale up with points?
Probably.
Probably, considering they just released the cavalry work, and I saw an ability that really looked like the cavalry work ability of her auto attacks.
Yep.
And I think that, and considering that Kel skills levels more so than items,
Mm-hmm.
so that would make this a pretty. That would make this similar to that. That's what I believe, but we will have to see.
Okay.
That sounds pretty broken, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you can't fucking catch her because, oh, I'm gonna attach to someone. Oh, you can't catch me, huh?
Yeah, so basically, because
Great concept.
what I'm more curious about is the range of the W. If she can do it because basically this is a discussion I had with Richie, and when he has his first impression, it was like this champion's going to be useless. He's going to sit on the on the AD carry in lane. It's going to be a 1v2. What I'm more curious about is, and this is what I feel like pretty much good Yuumi players will do, depending on the range of a W, is that it allows her to do more risky pokes compared to other supports.
You're like diving and canceling the fucking tower shot.
Yeah,
Basically,
pretty much. Well, to be fair, she'll still get damaged by tower anyway, so she can't really drop tower
Oh,
aggro.
yeah.
So she's untappable by everything except tower damage.
I don't think the Rai is gonna make that mistake again. With the
Yeah.
flooding, you know?
Oh yeah,
But if someone ulters, I
but
mean, if Caitlyn ulters or something, she can block that.
oh
And
yeah,
becoming untargetable.
The point is okay. How it looks in the cinematic compared to what we discussed here. In the cinematic, you can still see her on the screen. So that would technically mean that she's still in the game, as in not untargetable. That would mean that even if she's attached to someone, you can still kill her. But it
True.
depends on how they created that.
True, it depends on travel time as well. Is there a travel time when she W's to someone? If so, what's the range of a W to her ally? Basically, I'm thinking of it from this way. She can have much riskier pokes and being more aggressive compared to other supports. For example, let's say, for example, that Yuumi decides to poke a Blitzcrank and Vein Lane or something like that. Poke, Blitzcrank throws a hook. Nope, she W's to her nearest ally to dodge that incoming. And she goes over minion waves as well. So
But on the other hand, let
Yep.
me propose something else. You know how Lee Sin's W works, right? And Lee Sin's Q. You can get interrupted mid-air. Let's say Blitzcrank hooks her out of her W.
yeah,
Would that work?
could work. That really depends on, does she have a travel time like Lee Sin?
Mm-hmm.
And if so,
I think also a fresh flake could cancel a little bit.
oh yeah, flare as well as so that really depends on whether, if there's a travel time to it, is Yuumi invulnerable from the moment she goes inside a carry or from the moment she presses W?
I mean, it's untargetable, so you can still die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So it's not invincible, it's untargetable.
yeah. So that's it's going to be interesting. However, what I'm more curious about is AD and AP.
Ratios.
Yay, on hit Yuumi. Just kidding.
So basically, well, it's not really on hit Yuumi. It's the fact that
This is a Nico reference.
yeah. So it's not really much on hit. It's more or less the fact that Yuumi, when she's attached herself to this AD, let's say ADC, it depends on base stats as well. Does it go by base stats or does it go by total AD or AP?
I'm
And it's-
really curious, for example, how this would work. Because how I imagine this right now.
I think it will scale.
Yeah, exactly. That too. But like how I mention this now is like me playing Kaiser bot lane. Kaiser's a heavy diver, heavy like Kaiser usually doesn't do well with poke champions, but this might be different because Yuumi can go in with Kaiser.
But Yuumi can do both.
Exactly.
Okay,
And
Oh yeah, so Yuumi can basically just W her while she uses a Killer
Yeah.
Instinct.
so let me go back to your argument with Richie. Would that be useless? Because if Kaiser jumps in, is it then technically in 2v1? Or is it that because the power-ups that Yuumi gives Kaiser, would that be enough to consider it strong enough to make it a duel for you 2v2? That's the argument. That's how I envision it.
I feel like with this W, you and me, it really synergizes well with Kaiser. Like,
Exactly. That's why I gave her as an example.
yeah. Okay, let's go on to Zoomies. Zoomies. Fucking
What
hell.
kind of name is that?
Sounds like some drug. I don't know.
So Zoomies. So
That's what you take
Yumi's.
at the rave party.
Hey kids, wanna buy some suies?
Well, I can imagine Yuumi just like owning a van and just basically like saying to all the little all the ADCs like Vayne and such, but in kid form, and he's going like, "Do you want some Zoomies?"
Oh my god.
Okay, so Yuumi heals and gains a burst of movement speed. If attached, her ally is targeted by the spell instead. The spell has 2 charges.
Oh, it's a
Depend-
heal slot champion. Oh shit. Hey, new heal slots.
Oh yeah, we need
Wow.
we need
We'll need
ardent
more.
we need ardent sensor. That's
Oh,
what we
shit.
need.
Like, we don't fucking have Lulu already.
Yeah, but Lulu can't heal.
Fuck
And
off.
to be fair though, it is the enchanter meta right now. So,
I'm gonna name this champion now.
so it makes sense that they make an enchanter.
Yep, no, definitely. So this is like bog standard ability. So let's go into our ultimate final chapter. So Yuumi opens book, launching waves of magic damage that roots enemies after multiple hits. While using her ult, Yuumi can move, attach to ally champions, and heal. So pretty much this is pretty much like Rakan's level of interaction with our other abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different because you do have to hit it correctly. It's not like instant.
No, it's not instant. You have to hit a few times for it to stun.
Yeah.
So it depends on if there's cooldown between each hits. If it's something you can't just spam like.
Oh,
Yes.
we saw it. We
Yeah.
saw it actually in the trailer. Did you see it?
Yeah, I've seen
It was the wave of attacks you saw
Yeah.
coming in, like the kill attacks. It looked like the kill animation from attacks.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
Looked kinda cool.
Yeah, it did look cool.
yeah. So let's go over it. So Sabi, you play assassins.
Yeah.
How do you feel your champions will interact with Yuumi? Basically, like from basically against her or with her.
I think I'm just gonna ban her, just like Lulu. I don't like Yuumi at all.
God damn it!
I really don't like the sound of this champion, honestly.
So basically, long swords is gonna get basically fucked over by a magical cat.
By a cat, yeah. Because that's how the game works, apparently.
And what about you, Nick?
I think I will melt her with my fucking tiger stance, and then she'll be useless for the whole game. Basically.
Right, basically when you just like Q her and just let the dot kill her while she basically scurries on back to.
You double dot her, and then she's dead because she's really squishy. I mean, it's a fucking cat.
Mhm. How would
And
it?
it's a support.
You played Misfortune though, so how do you feel it would interact with Misfortune?
What does she do? Let's see.
So Q, so passive shield.
She doesn't really have any CC.
No, the only CC is in a Holt.
Yeah, I
Wait.
think she would be quite easy to lane against.
But
Yeah.
lane with. But how about you play with Yuumi in laning phase? How would
With
how would
Yuumi?
that interact with your champion?
She doesn't have any CC,
True.
so she would be bad with Misfortune because she can't really do anything for her.
But you play the one shot build, the lethality build.
Yeah,
Would that be different from the attack speed build, Misfortune, where you build Blade with the Ring King first?
I don't play that build.
True.
I don't
but-
like it. I tried it many times and I don't like it.
Mhm.
It's pretty good.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Because I do think Yuumi can work with that build, but yeah.
I don't think it'll work with Misfortune though. If
I just don't like heal supports in Misfortune because they're being useless basically. I mean, they don't really do anything
Misfortune
for
kinda
her.
needs to engage support.
yeah,
she needs some-
I don't think
basically,
Yuumi would work with her.
I
basically,
mean,
it's,
she has all the damage, she doesn't need heals, she needs CC.
yeah,
Yeah.
true, true. Because basically, what Misfortune needs is she's not a chitin type of ADC.
Yeah, she's
No.
really immobile.
She's immobile. Basically, what she needs is a place that she can stand, and she just utilize her ult. Just basically,
Yeah.
no strings attached. What Yuumi in that regard wouldn't really help her that much.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I think like with the Blade Room King build in laning phase it can work, but later on you miss
It can work, but then basically she stops because Blade of the Rune King is for her to get through laning phase. After the lane, she really goes the lethality one shot build, in which case
True.
you're ult reliant, and in that case, Yuumi wouldn't really help out much with that.
It depends on what your jungler top lane pick then.
Yeah, it would depend on jungler and top pick where Yuumi can interact with them.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone like maybe, for example, Vayne, Tristana, Jinx, etc., who are basically all kitey / reliant, like late game carry, in which case Yuumi can basically can support them tremendously.
I think she could be really good with Draven.
Oh yeah, especially with
Definitely,
Draven.
definitely.
I
Yeah,
think she would be really
more.
good with the damage buff.
But
Cook
Draven is good with any support, mainly because Draven brings the damage and
Yeah, but
has the
especially
kiting.
Yuumi. I mean, she can boost his damage big time.
okay.
True. I also would think that Yuumi, as I said before, I think Kai'Sa would be the most prominent duo. Because
No, I think
Kai'Sa...
Draven. No.
No, but Draven is, first off, bent on
You're
long right
biased
now.
with Kai'Sa. You love Kai'Sa.
Well, true, but there are two reasons why Draven is like not played a lot. Because first off, like right now, Draven is considered the strongest ADC, and he is on the highest ban rate at the moment. Second off, Draven is a risky pick because Draven, if he falls behind in any shape or form, he is gonna basically be useless for the majority of the game.
Mm.
However, Kaisa is considered amongst pros, high elo players, and also in low elo, a safer pick because it's easy to sustain. You have a lot of builds that work with Kaisa, and she's basically good against almost anything except for Caitlyn and Draven, ranged high DPS attackers.
Mm-hmm.
So I would consider Kaisa, especially since Yuumi is such an attacher. Kaisa is a dive bomb, basically an ADC assassin in some form, useful with a support that can go in immediately with Kaisa
Yeah.
and buffer up. That's why.
It's kind of assassin-like too, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. What do you think, Tim? I know like you gave your general thoughts. How do you think it would interact with like basically the jungle meta?
I think for jungle meta, definitely not good with Evelyn because it would reveal Evelyn's position. That's from my take from my Evelyn. But if I would put it on Lee Sin, I think the only champion in the jungle I would see work with Yuumi. It's unfortunately
The
I
option,
think
the options are limited.
only-
The options
only-
are limited really at this moment.
Yeah, I think only Kindred. Because Kindred is
Twitch
like
Kindred probably, yeah. Like ADC junglers, if you know what I mean.
exactly. So it's kind of difficult because most junglers do their role
Yeah,
like they can protect themselves. Most junglers in the meta.
yeah. They
Like
can.
maybe you can make the argument for Nocturne too, because Nocturne does dive in, and that could work with Yuumi's kit as well.
Yeah, because then it would give Nocturne a bit of more oomph in terms of global pressure because it would
And it
just
would-
add
it
more
would-
AD.
It would
that
be
combo.
it would basically be a 2v1. Like if Nocturne hurls
Yeah.
someone,
Yeah,
instead of bringing himself, he brings him and Yuumi.
that would be really fucking OP.
So
Yeah.
I actually do feel like in this case Yuumi can work with a lot of divers that maybe lack the CC in question or are just basically one CC done. Vi could be a good example as well. That Yuumi could
Echo!
or Echo, yeah. It basically is that, for example, Yuumi can add additional CC to these champions in question.
I think it would be
don't.
good with Echo, actually. I'm not kidding. She would be very good with Echo on her team.
I can see Echo work, but I don't see Vi work. And the reasoning for Vi is because I played Vi in the past, and Vi is mostly like she's a diver. Don't get me wrong, but she doesn't bring DPS. She brings burst, and Yuumi actively supports in a role where she builds DPS support, not burst support. Yuumi doesn't help you burst someone out. Yuumi helps you bring consistent DPS.
What do you mean? She literally gives AP and AD, just like fucking Yana Shield.
Yeah.
True, but she also with the items that support role has, such as Ardent Sensor and Zeke's Herald and stuff. Those are all like consistent DPS items, more so than burst items. So I would like it can definitely work with Vi.
True, but
I
she will
find-
provide survivability. Like, it will be less risky.
Well,
to die.
Yeah,
even if
and
it does,
Vi-
even if it does provide survivability, my major reasoning behind it is what champions can Yuumi support because it's basically level 6 onwards. That's where she has a lot of disruption in her route, as well as the slows and stuff from her Q. Though I don't think anyone's going to take advantage of this in team fights to Q because it needs to be in flight long enough to deal bonus damage and slow enemies, and in team fights you're not going to have that luxury of making sure it does bonus damage and slow enemies.
True, it won't be very good in team fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And so yeah, as I said, I think Vi can work, but it also depends on one thing. It depends on Vi does have the auto attack canceling through her E. If because it's an enhanced auto attack, that's how it counts in the game.
Yep.
It could work with Yuumi's ultimate. That would be interesting. If that is how it works, then Vi would of course be a very good pick. But I think it's better for Nocturne and Kindred because those have consistent DPS and a
True.
lot of burst.
But I don't think she'll benefit tanks, honestly. Because tanks don't really need a protection, and second of all, each other ADs or AP, it's not going to matter much for like 5 more fucking AD on the Sejuani is not going to matter at all.
No.
So no, so I don't think in that regard Yumi's going to benefit tanks that much.
The point that I'm trying to make with junglers overall is a lot of junglers have tools in their kit that really work when they make the plays.
Yeah,
I do think she would be good with Lee Sin though. Lee Sin can also like dive really well.
Yeah, but Lee Sin is, in my experience, wants to do his own thing. If he is locked into a position where he
I mean,
needs
the
others,
survivability that Yuumi gives, it will help Lee Sin.
yeah,
Because
that's-
sometimes he cannot double you out. Some players don't know. They don't walk up to like, have you double you out, or maybe you don't have a board on you or something.
The kind of major problem with Lee Sin is that he goes in, kicks them back into the enemy team. In which case, Lee Sin is really going to focus on one target. He's not really going to be disrupting the entire team. In which case, the abilities of the root and such is kind of wasted on Lee Sin. Whereas with other champions like Nocturne and stuff, it would benefit them because Nocturne doesn't have straight CC of his own. His only CC is the Sphere, and Sphere takes a while to proc. So in that regard, I feel like Yuumi helps out a lot more with Nocturne because she provides the disruption in the meantime.
Oh yeah, Nocturne definitely sounds
Yeah.
really strong.
So my general opinion on this as a support main, I think Yumi's looking amazing. It's probably going to be a champion I definitely want to have in my pool and
She's
master.
cute, I'll give her that.
Yeah. My major concern is going to be how she's going to pan out in laning phase and such. I feel like with all these additional stuff like shield, a shield which doesn't
more cancer, more
Which-
people to ban.
which doesn't break until which apparently it sounds like it's permanent because it says
It sounds like she would be very weak to CC heavy team comps though.
she would be. It really depends on how because she's safe, but how does she
But she
support?
doesn't seem like she builds tanky either, so she probably gets,
She definitely won't build tank. She'll be straight much ardent sense of redemption kind of thing. My major concern is how she's going to support. Basically, she's good at avoiding CC depending on the speed of it and such, but how is she going to be at supporting AD carry and lane? That's my concern. W sounds like. If it sounds like 6 points, then yeah, you could choose any of your abilities. If it isn't, it's just straight up W at level 1. Already you don't have a harass tool at level 1. And it sounds like you could just be weak until level 2 or level 3. In which case, compared to a lot of other supports, she's kind of fucked. Like, for example, Lulu could probably E or Q her. Yumi's not really going to do anything in that case. Yumi's not really going to fight back against level 1 harass, like maybe from a Lulu or a Nami or a Soraka.
we need to compare Yuumi with enhancers. So
Yeah, that's why I compared it with Lulu. I'm talking about Lulu.
Lulu is two things in one. Lulu is both an enhancer and a poker, and Soraka can be considered a poker, but they're gonna change.
I know. I
it
think
soon.
other champions will put the poking job better than Yuumi will.
Yeah. Another champion I can think of that would probably Nami's gonna screw over. In terms of like tank supports, she'll do better against them because tank supports don't really have the aggression until level 2/level 3. In which case Yuumi can stand up against them. No, I don't think. I think at level 2 Yuumi should definitely stay back because the only thing she'll have is Q. But I think like in any way is if they get the engage on to the ADC, Yuumi can't do anything. She can't. No, she can't. Her Q needs to be long enough range to slow them. And in which cases, level 2 you gotta stay the fuck back if you're in you're an AD carry with a Yuumi against a Leona and Alistar,
Yep.
Braum maybe, any other champions because Yuumi can't stop them.
But do you then feel like she would not be a good pick at all? Because like we just for laning phase that is, then maybe in the entire game is different. But because we just discussed how she wouldn't stand up against other enhancers, maybe against Jenna because Jenna does similar role. Her Q doesn't really do damage either. And the E is mash in my opinion.
I'm going over this. It really depends on the scalings of her abilities. If Q does decent damage, if her E does decent healing, it could be fine to get her through the laning phase. If they're not strong by itself, she's going to have the Sona effect.
Yeah.
And Sona's basically is, her abilities are naturally weaker, but she's a great scaler. If Yumi's like on that similar line as well, she might be in the same position as Sona.
Makes sense, yeah.
In which cases, I'm very hesitant. I would love to have her in my champion pool and such. However, if she's not going to pan out in the laning phase, if she's going to be weaker compared to other enchanters, then Yuumi will probably struggle.
I agree.
Because right now there's nothing in her kit to stop others engaging onto Yuumi, onto her carry.
If that's the case, then Yuumi would only be counterpicked to Chana. So you would counterpick equal supports, basically.
Yeah, but against like tank supports and stuff, unless you can play the laning phase safely, then yeah, Yumi's.
So basically, you want to pair up Yuumi with the scaling ADC.
Yeah, but as I said, if the ADC position themselves in the lane where the tank support can't engage onto them, then Yuumi has so much safety measures in terms of like poking and harass that she can just basically harass and poke and W back to the AD carry. And that's like crisis averted. They can't engage on you, especially with a large minion wave. That would be one of those conditions.
I think she might be good with Mage's bot lane. Maybe.
Oh, Mage's bot lane, that could sell.
Mage's bot lane.
That
Like Veigar or something, she can boost his damage.
That's actually an interesting point.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been focusing much on AD carries. What would be good with Mage's bot lane? Heimerdinger?
I think she could boost Veigar's damage insanely much. Like Veigar could become insanely
I think she
good.
would be good with Malzahar too, because Malzahar is a spell shield that's kind of self-kills.
I think she would actually be really good with Cassiopeia. Because Cassiopeia is a solo carry. Because Cassiopeia is a mid laner, of course. But Cassiopeia has, because of her ultimate and her W, a lot of self-peel. And she has amplified damage that becomes so much easier for her to skill. Secondly, Victor.
Yeah, Victor, I was about to mention him.
Yeah, it's very easy to... Has also some self-peel because of the W, whatever field the name is. Something field.
Rain, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, and Syndra maybe? Syndra 2.
I forgot you existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm thinking about other potentially mage bot lanes that aren't really bot laners right now. Would it be like... Would maybe Swain bot lane be a
That's
thing
literally
again?
what I just said. I just said Swain.
Yeah, I know, but...
We will be trying to do more content on Yuumi when she comes out on the PBE. We're also going to be doing 5v5 customs for the champion on the PBE as well. So if you want to check that out, go on to the Amino app on Android or Apple, iTunes.
iOS.
iTunes.
And other than that, though, I think we're all done. So I'm looking forward to the new champion anyway, and the potential of it. We'll see how things goes in the coming weeks on the PBE. Other than that, though, folks, take care. Have a wonderful night. Richie also asked me to advertise this, so if there's any young, sexy, spartacious, beautiful women that would love to be an E-girl, I would say E-slut, but that's a bit politically incorrect. So, an E-person of the female gender that wants to support Richie, DM him on Roachy. Or don't.